As we observe Veterans Day later this month, it's important to acknowledge the U.S. military's traditional role in developing leaders. I certainly am a direct beneficiary of that training, as most of my most valuable leadership lessons were learned leading young Marines in combat during the Vietnam War. Sadly enough, fewer Americans have had the benefit of military training. In the years after the Vietnam War, 75% of all the members of the U.S. Congress were veterans. With the advent of the all-volunteer military, that number has dwindled to fewer than 20%. These percentages likely will remain unchanged as fewer than 1% of U.S. citizens choose military service. Today, I want to tell you the inspiring story of one of the most remarkable warriors I've ever met. He was Command Sergeant Major Bennie Adkins, and I'm proud to say that he earned 4 degrees from Troy University. Bennie's story is the story of a common man who demonstrated uncommon valor. His story is captured in his book, There's a Tiger Among Us. He distinguished himself in March of 1966 in a remote camp in the A Shau Valley in the Republic of Vietnam. His unit of 24 Americans and a comparable number of Vietnamese soldiers were surrounded by the North Vietnamese Army. And during a 3-day period, Bennie fought with mortars, machine guns, and hand grenades. And even after incurring 18 wounds, he continued to fight. But the North Vietnamese Army overran the camp, and upon learning that several of the soldiers who served with him were wounded and they were near the center of the camp, Bennie ran through exploding mortar rounds and dragged his comrades to safety. After being ordered to evacuate the camp, Adkins and a small group of soldiers fought their way to the edge of the jungle, carrying their wounded with them. They evaded the enemy, but in the darkness, they found they were actually surrounded by not only the enemy, but also a tiger. Soon after seeing the eyes of the tiger, the NVA retreated. The one thing they feared more than our soldiers was that tiger. The soldiers lay in silence throughout the night, and as morning approached, Bennie dragged his men to the top of the hill, to a ridgeline, and they were extracted from that battle site by an Army helicopter. In 2014, Command Sergeant Major Bennie Adkins received the Congressional Medal of Honor for gallantry and heroism. And I think it's important to note that since the Medal of Honor was first awarded in 1863, only 3,500 men have received that honor. That's remarkable, particularly when you consider that 41 million men and women have served in the military since the nation was founded. After Bennie retired from military service, he returned to Alabama to earn his Troy degrees. He opened an accounting firm in Opelika, and he taught college courses. Troy University is very proud to have awarded Bennie Adkins his 4th degree, and that was in 2017, and it was the honorary Doctor of Laws. We lost Bennie in April of 2020, but his legacy lives on. Bennie Adkins' life story provides a wealth of leadership lessons, but I believe the most important is the willingness to serve others. Bennie's service was recognized statewide in July of 2021 when the Alabama State Board of Veterans Affairs voted to name a new veterans home in Enterprise, Alabama, in Bennie's honor. We celebrate Veterans Day on the 11th of November at the 11th hour. And when we do, please remember those like Bennie Adkins, those who have understood that freedom is not free, and they were willing to pay the price so that we can enjoy living in a free nation. May God bless them.